You're listening to the Millionaires Day Off, where people come to unlock their full potential and start achieving their goals. Now, here's your host, Tyler Kaysen.
Well, cool, man. Well, let's jump in. Let's talk about basically homeless.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's weird, dude, because I feel like you and I have almost met multiple times. We just have a lot of people in the same circle. So my wife rented out your apartment when you lived at Boulder Bay.
What? No way.
So Caitlin, the girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my wife.
No way. Okay.
And so
yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then Richard's, my best friend. So it's just cool how I followed you for a while, and now we're finally getting to chat. So
yeah, it's funny. So I know you as Beans. That's how I know you.
That's how 90% of the world knows me.
Oh well, because I always forget Tyler. I like the name, because Olivia will say, his name is Tyler, and I'm like, yeah, I know his name is Tyler, but you said his name was Beans, so he's Beans now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
forever. That's so funny. So yeah, so tell me about the transition. So you started basically homeless after your screen repairs stores went under, right?
Yeah.
So what really kind of led you to that space? Is just because you didn't have to have any employees or customers and you kind of just do your own thing, or what led you down that path?
It actually started because I was living with my parents after that phone repair business went under. And so because I was living with my parents, and I had a part-time job at Verizon, it wasn't like I was pursuing YouTube, but my friends talked me into uploading gaming clips. Really, it was like, hey, just start uploading them to YouTube. And I was like, all right. I mean, I work 20 hours a week and live with my parents, and I don't have any rent, so it was the perfect situation to start trying to do YouTube. And my dad thought it was crazy. I was like, if it eventually gets a little bit of viewership, I can maybe make a couple $100 a month off AdSense revenue. And then I remember saying that to him while I lived with him, and he was like, he didn't say anything. He was like, yeah, sure. And then my mom was like, hey, your dad thinks you're kind of crazy, but do your thing. He's super supportive now, but it's kind of a funny thing. But it definitely didn't spawn from any form of business idea other than I hope it works out.
Right.
And I think by the Lord's grace, it worked out. So anyway, it's definitely the type of business where it's fun to be able to not work with employees every day.
Yeah.
So anyway,
especially in this world, you don't want to mess with time cards and all that. Just you,
man.
Yourself and you, man.
Yeah. I mean, the whole phone repair business, I learned what it's like to manage employees, and it's not easy. It's not fun. It's not often rewarding. I don't know. It's not a fun job to try and manage employees. So anyway.
Yeah. On the flip side of that though, how do you stay so motivated to get stuff done whenever you're working from home?
That's a good question. I think I've always been, I guess there's being lazy, naturally not wanting to do anything. And then on the flip side, there's naturally wanting to stay busy and wanting to get a lot done. And I think just for whatever reason, that's the side that I lean to, is that I want to get a lot done. I want to be really productive. And so it's not super hard for me to stay motivated and just keep going. Especially treating it like a job. I think I have experience being self-employed and knowing okay, if I want things to get done, it's kind of up to me. And then I guess it's just the way I'm wired that if I want to make money and treat this like a business, then I have to get to work, and I gotta put in the hours. So, yeah, I think it's just the way I was wired, kind of.
It's tough though. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I do this maybe an hour a week. I don't really jack with that all. It's kind of more of just a hobby for me. But yeah, even you're trying to schedule. You got baby going on. You got wife trying to do things. So I can only imagine if it was my full-time gig of how hard it would be for me to just be okay, I've got to get this video done today, or I've got to stream for X hours today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely kind of a balance, being that my wife and my kid are downstairs right now, and I can just go hang out with them. You know what I mean? But it's figuring out a balance of how much I have to be at work, but I'm at home. And I think it just takes a lot of practice, really. Like most stuff, it's like, it's I mean, I'm still working on finding that balance, but it's not easy to work from home and balance like family life too. And I guess, yeah. So you just had a baby, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Dude, how's that going?
It's good, man. It's good. It's just, it's a learning thing for me. Like, I mean, so I was, you know, I'm always like working hard. Like, I mean, if I'm clocked in as it was, like if I'm at my job, like I'm just murdering work. But like I come home and it's just like, okay, so now it's like either time for me to veg out or do something like, you know, like this, that's kind of like a hobby. And now it's like, no, you're coming home and you're clocking into this job.
Yeah.
This job is you're holding this baby for 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
And so that's really like the biggest adjustment that it is for me. I mean, I love doing it. It's just it's a different mindset I've got to go in. It's not like, hey, I'm going home to veg out. Hey, I'm going home to start my second job, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it. I was going to say, because you had texted me and said, hey, I'll hit you up whenever the dust settles. And then I looked over at Olivia and I said, the dust never settles.
The dust never
settles. And
it's just always something, dude.
Yeah, it really is. And that's a really good way of looking at it, because it's like, now you got another job now. It's like another full-time thing. And so the only way to, it's like you have to look at it as though you're finding enjoyment in that job, because otherwise it's just going to suck. So anyway. Yeah, congrats again.
Do you have anybody that holds you accountable to hey, like you promised to get this video out to? I mean, I'm sure like sponsors, I'm sure they have like hey, you have a deadline to get that done by.
Yeah, I think that's the primary deadline thing, is that I have a sponsor. We've agreed upon a specific date for the video to go live, and so I have to complete the video by that date. And I actually am really bad with deadlines, because I tend to primarily focus on like, I want the content to be really good, right? I want to make something that's really good and spend a lot of time on making sure things are done really well. And I think what tends to happen is if I have a deadline, I'll rush some of that stuff, and it kind of like ultimately like degrades the content. But the thing is that's probably like the biggest thing I have to hold me accountable to getting something done in a certain period of time. And then after that, it's like, well, if I don't upload for 3 months, I'm not making any money. Right. And so it's like that, I'd say secondary to that is like money management and making sure you can pay bills with YouTube videos. So anyway,
how much, like, what's the percentage wise of like a sponsorship deal or like streaming or YouTube? Like where's the money really made at?
It's definitely like sponsor integrations, right? Yeah. So just brands come to me and they're like, hey, X amount of dollars, shout out our product for 60 seconds and just talk about it. Say these bullet points. We'll send you one. You can keep it. That's the thing. It's pretty cool. That's definitely the primary money maker. And like I have like an agency that handles all the brand deals. And so they basically just shoot me a message and say, hey, this brand, this amount, this is how long, do you want to do it or not? And then I kind of just say yes or no from that point. And then I'd say second to that is AdSense revenue on YouTube. And then everything else is kind of just a little bit extra because I don't stream very often. I post on Facebook occasionally. And so all that's like, I'll get a little bit of money and it works out. It's nice.
Yeah. You don't really jack with that very much.
Nah, man, I've tried to get into streaming. Streaming's like it looks like an easy gig if you watch some of those guys on Twitch.
Yeah.
I watch ton of Twitch or like YouTube live streams. It's like stressful, man. It's like, I mean, imagine like 300 people sitting around you and just watching you do something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like, there's immediately like an expectation, like you need to do something now, but then I don't know. It really is kind of draining. I think for a majority of people that have ever done it, they'll say the same thing. Like it is a draining, thing to do. And then on top of that, it's like I could have spent that 6 hours making a YouTube video that'd make 10 times the amount that I just made in that stream. So anyway, it's not for me.
Is that how long it takes you to make some of those videos? 6 hours?
Oh no, I think
so 6 hours to turn a Kiwi into a remote control, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes you? 6 hours?
It takes
6 years to get that done. It still would never happen. Like, there's no way.
I'm looking at usually like 2 weeks to make a video. Usually. Okay. And that's like treating it like a 9-to-5 job with like standard household interruptions of like, hey, come help me real quick with the baby. So it's like, really it's about a 2-week process for most videos. Sometimes I go off and take like 2 months to really make something wild, but yeah 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. How'd you build your following? Was it more like, hey, I do crazy stuff, more people watch, or is it like I just do consistently stuff?
Well, it's kind of funny. So when I first started, I would go into like a game. So I played Rainbow Six Siege. That was like my primary game for making YouTube videos. And I would tell the people in the game, like, hey, if I do this, you got to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that's how I got, and that was like me and my buddies in the game. And we're like badgering someone to subscribe to my channel because I had like 100 subs. Right.
Yeah.
And that's really how it like trolling people in the game to go subscribe to my channel with my buddies. It's probably how I gained my first like actual 50 subscribers. Like my channel said I had 100, but they, like 20 of those accounts were mine.
Right.
And then like I would like every video would get like 15 views and 12 of those were me. And then, and so like, it was primarily telling people in the game and then like telling family members to go watch my videos. It's a struggle when you got 100 subscribers and you're trying to make it, but you gotta be stubborn.
It's tough to self-promote. I found out like it's tough for me to just be like, because I've just got like, I don't really like, hey man, you should go watch this 30-minute deal. But I kind of just want the content to speak for itself to where like someone's like, hey dude, you should go watch this because he interviewed, basically homeless or someone on Shark Tank. I mean, I've done some pretty solid interviews for only having 12 subscribers. So, I'm pretty proud of the content that I've made. It's not there yet, but again, none of this is supposed to do, like, I don't care if it does anything. It's really just for me to surround myself with better people. Right? Yeah.
That's a good way of doing it. And I think too, like if you're making content that you're proud of and you feel it's good, and you're constantly improving it, then I think those are like, I look at those as like seeds. Like you're putting a video out there that might get 5 views, right? But, 2 years from now, who knows?Maybe it gets like 50,000 views. And it's like, when you posted that video, you knew eventually it was maybe going to get some viewership. I look at videos that way a lot of the time. It's like seeds, like you're planting it. And if it's really well done and you're really proud of it, it might not pay off immediately, but long-term, it really could. And that's kind of how I did my whole channel. Really. I posted for like, man, I was stubborn. I was really stubborn. I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. And I posted for like 9 months ish, almost every day. And they would get like 10 views. So anyway.
Dang. Are you still Rainbow Six Siege or are we done? Is that shit?
Nah,
it's over, right?
Yeah. That was like, how sometimes you watch like a TV show and you're like, man, this is a pretty good TV show. I hope they don't do like 15 seasons and run it to the ground and it gets stale and terrible. That's definitely what I did with Siege. Yeah. I just ran into the ground, man, with content. It was fun though. I mean, it was like, I don't know, how upset can I get that like, I don't like playing Siege anymore, but I'm going to, wire up a pineapple to it for some AdSense revenue. So anyway, it was fun. But it's,
any shot on the new? What's next for us? Are we going a different game, or are we doing something? Are we doing different things?
I'm going tech route, like the tech niche of YouTube. So like the tech part of YouTube is interesting. It's like primarily people doing like reviews or like, this is this piece of tech and this is us messing with it and testing it and all this stuff. I feel like the genre is lacking as a whole. Like maybe some like comedic storytelling creators, which not that they don't exist, I just feel like there's not a lot of them in the space. And so there's the one thing that I've learned a lot about recently is barrier to entry, right? When I started doing YouTube, I had a capture card, a little laptop, and it was really difficult, right? It was like kind of a lot of finagling to get everything to work with a console. Now it's like the barrier to entry for making gaming content is like, if you have a very basic gaming laptop, which can be, I mean, I don't know what cheap is most people, but like $400 or $500. I mean, maybe with a gaming laptop, it's more like 800. But like the laptop that you might already use for school or might already use for something else, you can record and edit on it right there and toss that on YouTube. And so the barrier to entry for gaming content has become so low that there's so much competition in the space. And then combined with that, like gaming YouTube channels are like the primary how do I say this? Like channels that die, right? Because their entire livelihood is dependent upon the game that they're playing. And so when the game dies, their channel dies. And so if you don't diversify and you just then you just keep playing that game, then your channel's going to die. And so I think it's like, I think while I could probably pick another game, and I have considered Minecraft just for the sake of it, like there's huge amounts of viewership and it would be a lot of fun. I think the tech genre as a whole is like what most interests me and is like the smartest business decision and the smartest strategy wise. And overall, I think that's just the right place to go. So
anyway. I think you have to find what fits you one and then fits the need second, right? Yeah. So like when I watch like stuff like business or like, I feel like all I watch is like, I could show you how to make $1 million in 25 minutes. You're like, okay, that's not real. How about we just teach people how to become better leaders or better, whatever they're trying to do. I don't know. But I think that's a better space to be in than like, let me teach you how to trade cryptos on the day market. That sounds terrible. Yeah. Like none of that sounds fun at all.
Man, that sounds like if I was making YouTube videos on that, I'd be like wanting to like chop my foot off or like something, man. Like go breathe some air.
Yeah. Is there like a big, like when you look at your channel, is there like a big, like, hey, I want to expand into this space or I want to add more people to my team? Or is it really just kind of like, hey, I'm good with where I'm at right now?
So one thing I really like about YouTube is like I get to do start to finish, produce the entire thing exactly the way I want it. Right. So then I think the immediate thought is like, I could be like, that could be like a control problem, like an unhealthy level of control over your business. Right. But the thing about YouTube is like, I could grow the channel. If you do, you can grow your channel to have 10 million subscribers and still be the only one making videos. Yeah. Like you're just one guy, you make videos every couple of weeks and you just keep posting them. And if you make good moves and transitions to the right niches and then make sure it's a smart business decision as well as like something you actually enjoy, then I think it is successful. And so I think, it's like, I'm not actively trying to find people to like join my team and build out like a Linus Tech Tips, 50 people work for me and we upload 17 times a week type thing.
Yeah.
I think there is like a constant kind of, it's like there is a constant somewhat a pressure to, get some people working for you, make videos faster, make videos better. Like it seems like that's what everyone tries to tell you to do, but it's like, I think actively trying to do that can really, if you don't want to, it can really kind of hurt some stuff overall with your business and your content, that type of thing. So like right now it's like, I've got a couple guys that edit for me occasionally, but I'm not sitting here trying to go build an office and get 20 people working for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Gotcha. That's crazy, dude. What's been like the biggest, like, so like, how do you like, I mean, I'm sure you make mistakes, right? I mean, like just,
oh yeah, man.
So like, how do you like, do you just watch your video again and go, man, I should have done that differently? Or, I mean, I'm sure it's just like trial by fire, right? I mean, you just learn from your mistakes as they go along or.
Yeah. I think with YouTube, the best way to learn is just to post a video and see how people react. And then it's really hard to kind of look at the analytics and then learn how to understand the analytics and see like, what is it that I could have done better? Especially with YouTube, because it's like after 5 years of doing YouTube, and there's always the algorithm, right? It's like, if you're trying to please the algorithm, it's not going to work. Like it's probably not going to work. There's some anomalies out there where people are just like actively chopping their feet off for fun. And they, please the algorithm. They hate what they do, but they make a ton of money. Right. There's some of those, but I think it's like what you should really focus on is just making better content. And so it is like learning by like dropping a video and just really analyzing the analytics or analyzing the video and kind of learning what is the most satisfying to watch outside of like, yeah, I'd say it's like learning what's the most satisfying way to present a piece of content and then doing that better every time. And that's like the best way to succeed on YouTube, aside from learning what all the algorithm does and all kinds of other stuff you could try to focus on.
Have you ever had a video just bomb? Just like, I'm so proud of this video. It's going to go viral in 24 hours and just bombs.
Yeah, that happened to me for a while there, kind of frequently. Yeah. But I think it's just, yeah, that happens. Especially with, like, sometimes, you know, I said sometimes I spend a couple months on a video and I drop it. You know, if you spend a couple months on something, you expect it to do really well. And so I think that's kind of just something that you have to deal with on YouTube. Like sometimes it just doesn't pan out the way you expect it to. And it's kind of just a huge bummer. And then you've got to try and stay motivated and go again. And then it can be kind of tough, but, you know, that's just part of it. And I guess that's just like any job, right? It's sometimes it's really rewarding and you make lots of progress and it's really fun. And then sometimes it's not, and it's frustrating, and the people you're working with suck. You know what I mean? And so anyway, that definitely happens. And it's a bummer when it does. Dig yourself
out of that hole, man.
Dude, it's tough to dig out of a YouTube hole, right? So for a while there, when I was transitioning out of the Dead Siege game, right, my videos, they were starting to tank in viewership. And so it is like really kind of you're in a hole. You're in a hole with your viewership. So it's like you need to make a video faster, but it also needs to be better. And so it's like, well, that kind of doesn't make sense. It's like I need to like do it quicker and make it better. And that's hard to do. And so I think, I mean, just personally for me, digging out of that kind of hole, like it 1,000% from just, I mean, so I'm a Christian. I trust in the Lord, right, to be provided for. And I trust that like if I'm doing what I know is right, then outside of that, I can take peace knowing that like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, you know, if this digs me into a deeper hole and I got to go work at Verizon or something again, you know,
come on, dude, you're not going back to work at Verizon.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just one of the thoughts that it happens. The thought happens, but it is like, I mean, I've got YouTuber buddies that are like, I hate making videos, and I can't dig myself out of the hole. And honestly, it's like, I mean, that's like a depressing spot to be in. It's like, but it's weird. It's so weird because it's like everyone wants to be a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like they say there's some statistics like 60% of kids want to be a YouTuber or a famous TikToker. You know what I'm saying? That's like the new thing that it's not YouTuber anymore. So they want to be a TikToker until they get 10 million views and get paid $200 for it, regardless. I mean, that's another discussion. But
do you have any TikTok? Do you make TikTok videos?
I get beans, man. AdSense revenue on TikTok is nothing. It's just trash, man. It's kind of funny, but
it's because there's so many views.
Yeah, and they run ads, but they've got some like creator fund. Yeah, it's like I got TikToks that consistently got like millions of views, right? Just posting my YouTube stuff on TikTok. But like millions of views is actually just like, I don't know, $100, a couple $100. And it's like, I'm not really dedicating any time to that.
Right. It's because just like pick up change from your YouTube videos.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like from a business standpoint, it's like nothing compared to YouTube. Now, if you're someone that has no viewership and it's not your full-time job, TikTok's the place to be for gaining viewers, because it's so simple to kind of get the algorithm to promote your stuff and be like, hey, follow me on Instagram after this. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. But
dude, I mean, I can only imagine like I'm sure like you've had the other side of that coin where you're like, dude, I knocked this one out in an afternoon and then it goes crazy. I'm sure. Is that ever happened?
Yeah. Okay. That didn't happen very often, but like my most recent video, it's like over 1 million views. And I'm like, I mean, I thought it was like, I don't know. It's like I didn't
just buying time to you to knock out a big one or what?
Well, it wasn't like buying time. I thought it would be a cool concept. I just didn't think it'd be that cool or entertaining. Like I knew like I would only do it if I thought it was entertaining and like a good video. I just didn't know it would get that much attention. And so that doesn't happen often, but I'm always very thankful when it does. And so it's like, and also there was another one a while back that was like, as I was editing it, I was just like, I don't want to post this.
Yeah.
But it was sponsored, and I won't say which specific video, but it was sponsored. And I was like, I don't want to post this, but I kind of have to. And so then I posted, but then it did way better and like had way better reception than I expected. So anyway, that happens. It happens. It's fun when that does. So
very rare. How much like, just in case you do fall in that hole, how much like, liquid cash do you need to keep like on the back burner just in case something happens?
I think it's like from I've done some like financial training stuff or whatever, like some Dave Ramsey crap but
right.
It's like they say to have like 6 months in savings. So you can like, I think that's like the average, like how much money, how much cash you should have in case something happens. And it's so much different when you have like fluctuating income that I don't even know like how much you should have or what. I think that's another situation where I'm like, okay, I'm going to be wise with my money the best I can, buy the stuff that we need, like, for family stuff. But like at some point it's like, I don't know. It's like, you can't stress about it too much.
Right.
Or then you're going to be focused in the wrong places. I think I did that for a while, actually. Focus way too much like on the financial aspect of YouTube. Yeah. And I think it was like, it hurt the quality of the content because I was focusing so much on the financial side of my YouTube business. And so, yeah.
So your advice, just go have fun. Doesn't care. Like, I mean, it matters, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, so it's like, it's really hard to balance that because it's like, you need to be having some level of fun to like reach a flow state in your mind of knowing what your audience is going to like and knowing what you're enjoying. Like, cause when you're in that kind of state, you understand, okay, wow, that concept, that idea I just had, I think that's a pretty good one. And then it's like, but you have to balance that with, like, if you post something and it was really fun to make and really cool to make and you made it pretty quick, but it didn't perform, then it's like, I've seen YouTube channels that just post what they think is fun. And then they'll tell people like, you just post, if you're having fun, then you're doing great. But it's like, you have to have some strategy, and you sometimes have to make something or do something that you don't necessarily want to for the strategy of just so your business can exist. Cause like, I've seen, like, that's kind of how a channel dies. I think in a lot of ways is like, they just start doing what they want to do or posting what's the most fun to post. And then their viewership kind of starts tanking because they'll make videos all over the place in all these different genres, like a gaming video, and then like some weird vlog, and then like 4 other, I don't know, they make a bunch of different styles of videos. Overall viewership and viewer satisfaction goes down, and then it's like, well, you know, now you do need to go get a job somewhere, type of thing, because you do have to have a balance in there. But
do you make a business plan like 6 months out? Do you have like it all planned or no?
It's more of like my next 4 videos plan.
Okay.
And I've tried like having advisors, and like at one point I had like 4 guys that were supposed to be YouTube experts, like advising me. And I've had like, this is the plan for the next 5 videos and like the goal and all this stuff. And like, kind of what I've learned is that doesn't work for me. That is not efficient. Like what's the most efficient for me specifically is like, post a video. Like, don't, like right now I'm about to post a video, and my next 4 videos are somewhat dependent upon how that one performs and like what my overall plan is. And so it's like, I guess you'd say it's like, because I post like once every few weeks, it's almost like an extremely flexible 2-month plan at any moment. And that's kind of what I have. And then it's just like because it is just me and a couple editors, I can continue to have that plan and it's just like, it's in my brain. I have that plan. It's in my brain. I know what the plan is. Kind of written some of it down on my phone. It's definitely not formal. And then that's how I've always been the most successful at YouTube. And it's been really difficult to have, like, having a bunch of advisors that tell you what they think you should do. Oh man, that can get confusing, and it kind of sucks sometimes. And so I've kind of shied away from that. And that's something that I learned pretty recently too. But yeah.
There you go. Well, I got one last question for you, man. Thank you so much for your time, dude. I really appreciate it.
No problem. This is fun.
Do you drink beer? this isn't the last question, but are you a beer drinker? Are you, you go out ever?
Sometimes.
We should go grab beer sometime. I think that's fun to do on a total
that'd be a good time.
Chill basis. But last question I have for you. What was the bigger culture shock for you? Becoming a husband or becoming a father?
Probably a husband.
Yeah.
Just because that came first.
Right.
And so once that happened, I was like, then it's almost like I knew what to expect when I had a baby. Cause I was like, I've already experienced like my whole, everything having to change because now another person is half of me. Right.
Right.
And so it was like, it's like I almost had some level of like, I understood that, okay, things are going to change and I don't know what to expect, but, yeah, cause it's like when you get married, you're like, I know things are going to change. I don't know how. I know things are going to change and it's going to be different. And then you get married and you kind of understand it. And so it's like the same thing when you have a baby. It's like, I know things are going to change. I don't exactly know how, but I kind of had everything in my life change once before when I got married, like how everything got like kind of shaken up, just moved around and in a good way. And so I'd say the baby thing was like, no, I won't want to say it was like cake or it was like easy, but it was like, I kind of knew what to expect a little bit just because I did get married. So I don't know. Yeah. I'd say the marriage thing was definitely the biggest culture shock. As on top of like, you learn so much about how you are selfish when you get married. I'd say is like a big thing. It's like you get married and then you realize, I don't know, you just realize different parts of you that are really selfish and you kind of have to work out if you want to be married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah.
I won't waste any more of your time, man. Thanks so much for your time, dude.
Yeah. Hey, really appreciate you. Just chatting with me, and we definitely should grab a beer sometime.
For sure. Such an awesome interview. Thank Nick for his time, man. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube algorithm things that Nick just taught us about. And thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch y'all later.